How much worse is it when you've got Chris Suton offering to cuddle you in the car park, and did you take him up on his offer?
Definitely didn't. I definitely didn't. You can't even get a cuddle off his wife. He wasn't going to get one off me, that's for sure. But I mean, it's easy when your team's winning in it. You can sit there, and I mean, you've got to remember it wasn't that long ago. A smile used to upset a lot of people in Scotland, so I'll bide my time. I went and got my haircut this morning, and I've came out. I've drove away. Right, I've came out, drove out, and I've looked at the front. I've got a parking ticket. I'm absolutely fuming, right. Fuming. So, and I've only pulled up in the car park there and I went and checked it. And I've got to say, whoever this was at Glasgow City Council deserve enormous credit. You would, yeah.
Have you been done with the fake ticket?
It's unbelievable, this. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Look at this.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So thank you very much for letting me off it. Chris Suton is a twat. Look at that. Seriously, honestly, I've drove away. I was on the phone to my missus. I said, I've been done. I've got a parking ticket, and then I've just opened it, got in the car park, and I've never been so delighted in all my life to see that. Amazing, eh?
Yeah.
You didn't share a lift in today, did you? I know you do that in the past.
No, I mean, I try and avoid Chris as much as possible, but it's when needs must I give him a ring. And to be fair, he is accommodating.
You always know though. Because you don't hear from him, then, hi mate, how are you? Why are you asking? You don't care, you want to lift.
Here's the weirdest and creepiest link ever to a talking point. I saw Jim Goodwin in the toilet at Celtic Park at the game last night. What did you make of the game? Bit weird, isn't it? But is that, can we just go on to the game? He was just trying his hands. Don't look at me like that.
Just if someone's in the toilet, just leave them alone.
Yeah, I was there as well. He was just drying his hands. There's no drama.
Because you said you met Jim Goodwin.
Who spoke first?
I think it was me.
Right, okay.
I think it was.
Busy as fuck.
Just said hi, Jim. It's just the polite thing to do, isn't it? Yeah. Did you enjoy
hi,
the
Jim,
first
please
half?
Speak to me.
Did you enjoy the first half? It seems natural. Anyway, did you enjoy it? What did you think
you're a Murrow fan.
It's working. You should know that.
All right, okay.
Although I have to say, the look on your face when I saw you working at Ibrox.
Didn't enjoy it, mate.
In the freezing temperatures against
cool.
Dundee
When was
United.
the last time you enjoyed yourself at Ibrox?
I always enjoy myself going there. I don't like watching the football, but I always enjoy seeing the people there.
Even the hour delay to kick off.
It was freezing. But if I had that jacket, I'd have been absolutely roasting.
I'm struggling a bit in here. It was freezing when we came in here.
We got the heater set up today.
We've rolled two radiators in and I'm sweating.
I wish I did have that.
Yes, it's quite cosy. Yeah. So who's picking who up? What's the travel arrangement? You both on the game?
He has to be careful here.
I know, I was thinking
he has to be careful here because I can easily just drive past the hotel.
Then I'd have to get a car.
Yeah.
So no, Chris will be picking me up. I've never picked Chris up, but that's only a geographical thing.
Logistical
issue. I live in Norfolk.
Who picks the soundtrack? You don't let him pick his football songs, do you?
In fairness, I'll hold my hands up with sort of music. I've got a sort of varied
taste.
Varied taste.
What does that mean? What's your go-to?
Well, it's just varied. Well, you wouldn't have heard some of them because you're quite young, aren't you? Really?
He's even younger. Try us.
Oh, really? You look older.
Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Dire Straits. I'm a big fan of.
I've heard of Dire Straits.
I don't know.
Usually in this, who's got the best ear?
I've heard of Dire Straits.
Oh no, Sam's ear's better than mine. Come on, that's a work of art.
Is that on your own?
Of course it is. Who do you think you're dealing with here?
Well, so's this, mate. It's just been moved about. What about Sam's?
From one place.
No, but Sam's. He says it's just a quick brush in the morning.
It's 30 seconds. I knew I'd get asked this today, so I was thinking about it when I was...
What does it look like? Down?
It's down here.
Down to there, yeah.
Tell Sam about the first time you came across him.
Don't model myself in any match. One of a kind.
The first time you came across him. It's a classic. It's a classic.
When did I?
First time.
We were discussing. When were we discussing
We're at St Mirren a few months ago. Maybe last season. Or was it this season?
So it all blurs into one.
Yeah. So we're in the truck. There's myself, Sutty, Faddy, Keegs. We're in the truck. We're just sitting having a conversation, and the players are starting to walk down the track. The St Mirren players are coming in. So there's so and so. There's so and so. Oh, there's so and so as well. And Faddy says, "Oh, there's wee Sam North." Sutty,
I've made it.
What position does he play? He thought you were a St Mirren player.
At least you know your stuff about the St Mirren team.
But then I should have realised because he's not 6'5". He couldn't
Exactly.
play for
Far
St
from it.
Mirren.
Not 5'5". Either. Bloody hell.
Oh, amazing.
All the
What
signs
position,
understudy.
what position does he
Hey,
play?
that's a compliment there. You're in good nick.
No, I'll take that. I'll take that. I could do a job for St Mirren.
Somebody's not seen your video trying to
Thanks,
recreate Dom Thomas's goal of the month.
6 or 7 attempts and I did it. So
A little bit
It's all right.
arrogant. I could do a job for St Mirren. We
Mm.
might follow up on that.
Okay, we shall see.
I don't
don't
think
know.
it's a good idea.
No, I don't think it is either. St Mirren's
That is
under
the biggest
12s, maybe.
backtrack I've ever heard. Then.
St Mirren's under 12s, possibly.
I'd love to see you up against Gogic.
That'd be terrifying.
Why?
I'm all right. I couldn't do that.
Why?
After his
All right, we could
Let's-
try.
red card,
I'm sure we
downgraded
could
at
get
the
it.
weekend.
We could probably get this organised. You can get and train with St Mirren
Set
for a
piece
day.
training.
Yeah. What do you think?
Man,
Well, you said you could get a game.
Yeah, I didn't know you meant for the first team, but
But we're not talking about the first team.
no, I know. I know.
Richard
We
Taylor.
will have to try it now. I've said
Taylor
it.
would have been able to jump over me on your shoulders for that goal last week. What a
Probably.
leap that
So
was.
finish. Get a question out there. Would
Right,
you
okay.
like to see me training with the St Mirren first team?
Comment below. We'll see.
Comment below.
Only if one of you two comes with me as well, and maybe you.
No, I'm
Does-
taking
does
nothing.
Stephen
to
I
do
Robertson-
with
will
it.
if Chris
Does-
picks us up.
Does Stephen Robertson like you?
That's a good question. I don't think there's a manager out there who likes me.
Okay, let's do the rondo, and it's a rondo with a difference this time. You've done this before, but it's slightly different because you, Chris Sutton, are going to have to answer questions about Chris Boyd and vice versa.
Oh, right.
You
Okay.
happy with that?
Well, no, but
No.
we'll just crack
Okay,
on.
question number one. It's like a kind of quiz, if
Yeah,
you like.
okay.
Question number one. How many sheep does Chris Boyd have? Is it
I thought
15?
you were going to say something else. There.
It's not that kind of show. Is it 15, 25, or 50?
That's a good guy. I know he's very fond of sheep. I'll
Bit too fond.
say 25. I go in the middle.
Has he ever, so he doesn't speak about it in the drives up?
Oh,
He
His
does,
name
he
about
does
it.
speak about the animals.
Yeah.
I say no. Do you know? I'm going to go for the what was the lowest 15. He couldn't handle 25.
Put him out his misery.
You were right the first time.
Oh,
Should have stuck with you first.
25.
Oh.
Incredible.
He's right the
Sick
first
post.
time.
Okay. You're getting it tight on these questions. I didn't write these,
Me?
remember.
Wow.
How many grafts did Chris get for his new barnet? Is it 170, 1,700, or 17,000?
I wish it was 17,000. I might go back for more.
I thought you kept telling me it's your own.
It's just moved about.
So give us the numbers
That's
again.
what happened.
170,
It can't be 170.
1,700, or 17,000?
It must be. It can't be 17,000. That'd take a month. 1,700.
1,700.
It is. I was wondering if you would know that.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah. You don't pay per graft, do you?
No, but I might have to this time.
Got plans for
You
it?
what are you doing with your spare here?
I could
Yeah.
donate some.
Yeah.
Starting to go a wee bit grey, but that's okay.
Well, that mixes in
Exactly.
with me,
Would you go for another?
isn't it? I probably will, yeah.
Right, okay. For which team, it gets serious all of a sudden, going
Yeah.
from sheep to hare.
Yeah, to football.
For which team did Chris score more goals in all competitions?
Oh, that's
Rangers
interesting.
or Kilmarnock?
Oh, that's interesting.
Must have been Rangers.
By a lot.
Well, yeah, that wasn't the question. Then.
Just curious as to your
That
thought
must have been-
process.
Must have been Rangers.
Must
Three
have
spells
been.
at Kilmarnock.
Three
Yeah,
spells at
must
Killy.
have.
That's three
Yeah.
spells, though.
Yeah, Rangers.
Rangers.
By how many?
Inside 10, anyway.
According to this, it's 2,
2.
remarkably.
I was going to say 2.
138 to 136. Oh, great.
Mm.
Great consistency. In 2011, Chris left Middlesbrough to go on loan to which other English team?
Nottingham Forest.
Oh, look at that. They
That's
do
right.
talk about
boyhood
yeah.
team.
Boyhood team. Knew that.
they do talk about their own careers.
Yeah.
Not your boyhood team.
Yeah, it was.
But
Yeah,
you'll be back liking them at the moment then.
yeah. No, I'm back supporting them. At the moment.
Back support.
That's what
Glory
Supporting
support.
them.
Just changes.
So they lost to Arsenal last week. So if they got the weekend, they've got. I can't remember. Who they've got Ipswich at the weekend, and if they lose to Ipswich, then I'm binning them again.
He had the cheek to say before we started recording. He asked
Supported
me.
6 teams.
He said to me, "Who's your second team?" Before he started
He's
recording.
supported,
No such
honestly,
thing.
supported 6 teams.
Okay.
Norwich, depending on where he is, he supports Norwich. He came up here now, he's the biggest Celtic fan ever. I'd never heard of him before because he was that ignorant when he was down south.
Wow.
Poor. That's
Yeah.
poor. What goal-scoring feat did Chris achieve in the 2005-06 season? Oh, he doesn't even know the answer to this. What top scoring feat did Kris achieve in the 2005-6 season?
I've got it.
Good start, this.
Great snap.
Still the one and only.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't give it away. Just calm down.
Did you get a record amount of penalties?
For who come on it?
2000. Yeah, that'd be. I don't know. Must be positive. It must be a.
It is. Would you want me to
No, I know
announce
what
it
it is.
officially? Go on.
Top goal scorer with 2 different teams in one season. There you go.
Top scorer for Kelly on 17 and Rangers on 20, having moved in the January.
Who were the other strikers that were at Rangers or Killy that were there
There's
for
a
the whole
story
season?
behind that. Peter Livingston. So Peter was the penalty taker at Rangers. The Scottish Cup game gave me the ball to hit because it was my first game. Take that and score, basically. Get yourself off the mark. Peter never seen the ball again to hit in that penalty. He was fuming. I think I beat him. I think he got 19 goals that season. I beat him with a goal.
I won. And then that stat wouldn't have been a thing as well. I like that.
And it would have,
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Big
Good stat, that.
Nish, Colin Nish, Stephen Naismith, they were at command at the time.
there you go.
Good
Good
team.
start. I like
Yeah,
it.
some good
Okay,
players.
right. Your
Right
turn.
then, so Kris,
Here we go.
about Kris. Right. What are we going to start with? So we'll go for this one first. Who scored the fastest goal in Old Firm history? Dyson Maeda or Chris Suton?
Oh, wow. That is super tight.
2002 3-2 defeat at Ibrox.
I'm going to say Sutty because he would have been absolutely raging if it was Maeda, and he's not really mentioned it.
How long was it then? Do you remember?
26.
19,
No.
19 apparently.
19 seconds.
19. I scored a quicker one for Blackburn, 12 seconds.
Quick off
Who was
the
that
mark.
against?
Against Everton.
Everton.
12 and a
I
half.
think I can.
How did that come about again? That one because Maeda's
Well,
is
I
like,
kicked it in the goal.
yeah, I get that. But Maeda's was obviously quite. I mean, you were just trying to gather your pre-match thoughts, and it's flashed in. How did you
Yeah,
manage it in 19
Big John
seconds?
driving run. Big John actually, he wouldn't, you wouldn't say he was a dribbler, but he had that ability to go past defenders in confined spaces. He drove to the byline, crossed it in, and anticipation. My anticipation was wonderful, and I stretched and stuck out a big boot, and it bobbled over. I think Stefan Kloss.
Yeah.
Terrible finish, lucky as anything.
19
Right,
seconds.
there you go. Fastest Old Firm
it.
goal. What is Chris Sutton's middle name? A true friend would have had that by now,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Roy.
Oh, he smashed it.
That's sensational.
Yeah.
True
Am I right?
friend, yeah.
How did you
I
know
did
that?
not expect you to get
There
that
you
right.
go. There you go.
Do you know his middle name?
That's what we talk
We
about.
do
in
it.
the
It's
car.
in the
There you go.
notepad. Yeah.
There you go.
There's a few true.
Oh, Roy Cropper. I love
I
it.
know. There's a few true or falses here. So the first one we'll go for is John Sutton's
Oh,
favourite
what a
player
man. My
growing
favourite
up.
Sutton by a mile.
There you go. John Sutton's favourite
And mine.
player growing up was Rangers idol Robert Fleck. True or false?
Oh, an interesting one.
Would Sutton have a Rangers idol? Is there? Rangers player is that idol?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say true.
It is true. What's the?
Is it?
Apparently, so
That's
according
it's
to
the type of question that he could just say, nah, that's false. According to our extensive
according to
research.
this piece of card right here.
Yeah.
Is there any?
I'll
is there
do it.
anything you can
I
share?
will make that call.
Is it possible?
It is possible.
Okay.
Robert Fleck was in the team when I first got
you go.
into the team. He was very
player.
kind to me, actually.
We'll go for the next true or false question next. This is quite a Norfolk-based
Ooh,
question.
What a stat this could be.
So
It's not about
It's
brothers and
nice.
sisters and
Steady.
not quite. But true or false? Chris Sutton used to get Christmas turkeys hand delivered by his neighbour in Norfolk, Bernard Matthews. Is he the type of guy?
False.
Correct. False.
Of course it's false.
hang on
No,
a
but
minute.
it's- no,
That's
no.
nearly
No,
that's
there's-
nearly true.
See, we had a conversation with this a few weeks ago.
Oh,
but
seriously?
as soon as you
All right,
named
I
it-
thought it was just completely
No, but
dreamt
as
up.
soon as no. As soon as you mentioned Bernard Matthews, I knew it wasn't that. But there is something here. When you
So as a Norwich City player, all the Norwich City players, we used to go to Bernard Matthews Hall and all get a turkey from Bernard. Beautiful Bernard. That's what you say, beautiful.
But it wouldn't have been hand
What
delivered.
was the conversation we had that when was it milk or something? That's how good the
No,
conversations were.
turkeys.
God, these
And if
long
you-
drives.
I
up
mean,
to
I get.
Burnley.
Do you have turkey? Do you have turkey?
Yeah,
On Christmas Day, yeah.
That's all right. If you're ever struggling for a turkey, let us
You're
know.
the man. You're more of
Matthews.
a turkey dinosaurs
all-
type of guy.
The only thing is,
Turkey Twizzlers.
About a date by the time he gets it up here.
We go and choose a turkey. We go and point a turkey out.
So it says false.
Oh,
there,
great.
but I
We're
feel
going to
like
have
every
animal rights
Christmas-
activists on us on the show.
False.
So
That's
good.
Folks.
And so,
What does he think we do in Norfolk? Honestly, go and point the turkey out. We'll have that one.
this has gone south this show, isn't it, this week? So finally, Chris Suton made 155 domestic appearances for Celtic and 152 domestic appearances for Blackburn. But for which team did he score the most domestic goals?
Whoa.
I'm not sure the appearances is right.
Oh, great.
Oh, so
Again, it's the cup. What
It's
what
all
was
falling
not?
apart.
So 155 for Celtic, 152 for Blackburn. You think that's?
I think that I'm not knocking your research, but I'd be surprised if you're here next week.
Yeah, sounds like he's knocking your research, if I'm being
not even my
perfectly
research.
honest.
No, it's a good
Who did he score more for?
good question, even though the was wrong.
Going to say, I'm probably overthinking. Well, I'm overthinking this now.
I mean, it is a 50-50 choice.
I know, but I'm just trying to. I hate being wrong.
It's close as well, by the way.
It's
I know
not
it
like
is.
you to overthink.
Celtic.
It's correct. But if you want to let them know how many,
Don't know.
even how many's in between them, do you think it's
No, be.
Only 9,
9.
apparently.
70 for Celtic, 61 Blackburn?
If that's right, yeah. I
I feel like I'm being thrown under the bus for these cards every single week.
Good quiz.
There you go. So
There we go.
Rondo.
Consider it's all
Seems
based on love, isn't it? Really?
No, not really. Don't
No,
get, don't get carried away.
I think you can tell.
It does.
Don't
mean
don't get carried away.
I think you can tell. First
It
time I
doesn't-
worked with you, well, probably both of you, but the first game, well, I obviously don't have to do many, but
It's Aberdeen.
I did the game at Aberdeen, right? And do you remember the story where Burnaby had slept in or something? He missed his alarm, didn't he? Right, so
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it was leading up to that, and then I think he was either back in the squad or he'd been dropped from the squad. And obviously, you talk these things through, and someone who will remain nameless said, "Listen, when the team comes out, ask Kris, because he's got strong opinions on it. Ask Kris about Burnaby missing the team meeting and so on." And I thought, well, do you know what? He's not even in the starting 11, but fair. I know my place. This is my first time. I'll ask Kris the question. So I asked him, and straight away, his first answer, he goes, "Yeah, this is all so very negative. Very negative. You starting on that." So I go home, I turn on my phone, and I'm getting all these tweets for Celtic fans. Sutton sees right through you, doesn't he? Yeah, Rangers apologist. This, that. It's fault.
Throwing you under the bus.
Seriously.
So
It's
you've
fault.
just explained why you don't stick up for me then.
It's fault.
Albeit you do owe me a bit of an apology because that guy you had on last week.
Pure story. That was
Andrew Barrowman's his name.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd never met him before in my life. Never seen him
You played
anywhere.
together at Birmingham, and he said you ignored him in the street.
We did not play
You
together
did.
at Birmingham.
You
No.
seemingly gave him a pair of Val Sports.
That might be true, but I used to give boots away to
He
to
says
all
on the
all
training
young
ground you
players.
were nice as anything. You would give him pointers, then you would pass him in the street.
I'm
Didn't-
only being honest. I've never seen him before in my
He
life.
His
did, he
teammate.
did see you in the penthouse though.
He said
That's
you
an
had a
interesting
balcony.
one. That's an interesting one though, because
Penthouse.
when you think about, there's a few young boys have said that you were a bit of an arse when you were.
I don't think. No, I think that you're misrepresenting me there, Chris. I don't think they've said that. It's
Well, they have.
it's a bit of tough love. I used to like that as an apprentice. I used to. I don't know if you did the sort of hard yards, the cleaning the boots. Did you do that?
That's my boot cleaner there.
I actually done
There's
Boydy.
my boot cleaner there.
Yeah.
Looked after him.
That's amazing.
Looked after him.
What about
I
picking?
also seen firsthand the day you lost the league at Rugby Park. As a young pro, not nice scenes to see.
Did that inspire you at all?
Put
The
me
opposite.
off, if anything. Put me off the game for a bit.
He's thrown that in quite early.
What? Yeah, he's gone. That's his best question. What about picking his slip up? Because that's what I used
That's
to have to do.
disgusting.
Pick up the
Yeah.
dirty slips.
No, I always,
and the
I always
kit
put them away.
and what have you.
Wouldn't like to see, people to see what was in the inside of them.
So I was thinking about a little legal letter to the pod
Okay.
off the back of that. Total fake news. I
Did he
never
text-
met,
did he
never
text
met
you
the guy.
about that last week.
Yeah.
Oh, we
As
had
soon
the
as he saw it?
discussion. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy.
Never happy.
He wasn't happy. And by the way, this was a good few days ago, and he's still raging.
I can see that.
I'm still angry.
You need to get over it.
So you know what I was thinking, though, see, although this is early days, do you think we're on path to be like a more iconic Scottish football duo than those two?
Double act. Could be younger version.
Better looking, younger,
Shorter.
definitely shorter.
Mm-hmm. Who would you say that?
Well,
Like?
there's like Jack and Victor's like an easiest one. Well, there's double
Starsky and
X, these
Hutch.
two wee Starsky and Hutch. Like, who would you do?
Shrek and Donkey.
Shrek and Donkey. I like that.
They've come in here and prepared. Wow. Yeah, we're giving it a go this week.
Is that
Who
your
would be
best?
who?
Is that your best?
Who would be who?
Doesn't matter.
Shrek
We're
and
ourselves,
Donkey.
mate. We're ourselves.
These are relaxed,
We're
aren't you?
ourselves, mate.
Originals.
Do you know what they are? Experienced pros.
We're
That's what
ourselves.
you can
I
see
know.
there.
You have went too early. It's not Clyde now, mate.
It's not all short-termism, you guys.
Long-term thinking.
Talking about short-termism, at the start of the season, I was 4 games in and you were slaughtering me.
We weren't
No,
like this.
I don't think I was. That
I
was
couldn't even tell you if you were or not. I just threw it.
that was
You for holding grudges. Let's
yeah.
wait about this.
that was the Hearts fans. That wasn't us.
I was sure it was this guy pundits used to the double act.
We can only call what's there in front of our eyes.
Not nice.
I
Young manager
think
coming through.
I think we were overly
Fair.
sympathetic.
You
Yeah, overly so. Really, I remember you
Just
saying.
to
let's
be
put the-
honest-
I remember Chris saying before one of the let's put the boot into him today, and I said no. That is not my style. You do it
That's
yourself.
not my style. Seriously, man. Where's Doc Martens every week?
See, in terms of Sunday, does the...
No, sorry. See on that. Just quick.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
No. I'm just.
interested.
Is this Gil?
He's on the hook.
No. I'm just.
Yeah. Is
What
this
did you
something-
learn from that period of time as a manager to where you are now? Like losing your job
That
and
it's ruthless.
yeah.
And I think for me, the structure of Scottish football doesn't help managers, young managers. There's not many games you go to, and I was at one of the biggest clubs, so
Yeah.
the demand's there that you can try and produce more of what you'd really want because there's so much on every game.
Yeah.
There's so much on every game. You're not going to get every decision right, but I think a Scottish mentality is that we look for the negative far too much. That's
Is
what I
that
think.
just a Scottish thing though, or is that everywhere?
modern.
I don't, it might just be social media has a big impact on it because the opinion needs to be brutal to be heard.
Yeah, but do you think social media had a bearing on you losing your job?
I think it puts perception for anybody. At the time at the start of the season for David Gray, perception was he was really poor. But see if you looked at the expected points he should have had
The
because of it.
performances were decent. It was just mistakes. It was
But
individual
yeah,
mistakes.
I think that a lot of that's overlooked, and at times that can change people's opinion. That is where it was, and it's tough. It's a brutal business. Being a player, you feel it when you're going to coaching. You feel the same thing. You tried it yourself. It's
Oh, don't bring that up.
Neil Lennon gave me Ben Hutchinson. That was why I failed as a manager. He said he'll score your goals.
No, you've got a better one than that, mate.
and
Signing.
Little Brian Gilmore.
Brian Gilmore.
Yeah,
that's
his agent told me he was, because I hadn't seen Brian play, but I was told he was a good player, so we got him down to Lincoln. I said, "Well, how tall is Brian?" And he said, "Oh, he's a size." And the office I was in had a chair here, and there was a filing cabinet there, and then there was the door, and then when he came in. I mean, it was ridiculous. He was like shorter than the. You couldn't see him initially. He was like Gordon's height. I mean, it was he said he's a size. I was thinking, God, what's he told me there? The agent, incredible.
No,
But do you not then? Do you not have an understanding of, as a coach and as a manager, there's so much you can influence, but there is part of it that you're putting your faith in others, and the amount of things that can change at certain points, that all has a bearing on how the performance ends up, the result ends up, things like that.
No, I mean, I think when you look at, and there's been a trend now in Scottish football for a period of time, when you look at, clubs have invested a lot in a manager.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worked, and then they've went to, people that have been inside the building, and think that can take them on. Then all of a sudden they realise, oh, this is not going to happen, and then it's chop again, and away that goes. Like, I think, you speak about, Scottish football and fans being impatient. I think so are football clubs.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
totally.
I think so are football clubs because
there's
it's
not
as
many
if
big
they've spent so
plans.
much money
Aye.
and big managers, and that's not worked. And then, right, we need to cut this back because we're already paying that manager off. Like Aberdeen, for example. I mean, Barry Robson had a terrific run, similar to yourself, with a terrific run. Come the next season, it doesn't start. You've got Europe to deal with, you've got everything else, And you know, there are probably things that you look back and think to yourself, I would have done that different. Barry Robson probably the same. But there's no time because the expectations move on. You've qualified for Europe. You expect to get more players in. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I feel no good. We've done that last year. We need to do it again this year because you're used to the money coming in as well. It's difficult.
Hearts have always been that. I mean, you'll know better than me, but Robbie Nielsen, when he was at Hearts, he you know, he did a brilliant job, and yet he still got a hard time about sort of the brand of football, style of play. Expectations, the thing, which with I think both the Edinburgh clubs, where you know, both have great histories, but you know, you mentioned Hibs, in recent times, you know, they have struggled, and that sort of short-termist approach. You know, Maloney got 20 games, didn't he? That's no time really to implement his ideas and bring his own players in. But you know, we speak about it lots, don't we, about the overhaul of players. New manager comes in, guess what the manager says? Want to bring my own players in. So there's that overhaul. So in terms of sort of long-term planning, it's not there with most clubs. But
and I think that's a big
comes
issue.
with expectation.
That's definitely a big issue.